In the beginning, there was Jack, and Jack had a groove, and from this groove came the groove of all grooves. And while one day, viciously throwing down on his box, Jack boldly declared, "Let there be house." And house music was born. I am, you see, I am the creator, and this is my house. And in my house, there's only house music. In music and dance, I express myself as a member of a higher community.
I think the scene is more towards like the positive aspects of electronic music.
It's an intelligent culture, in my personal humble opinion.
There's actually a musical scene.
Better music.
I have like a strong love for the music.
I like the music.
You can get into the music.
Yeah, to watch our friends spin.
I go to have fun, I go to hear the DJ play.
I didn't really like the popular culture stuff, the Backstreet Boys and all that crap.
Our scene is 95% music, 5% all that crap.
It's like raves are based on Blur.
It's about seeing your friends.
I go to like see all my friends.
I have friends in Connecticut and friends in New York.
The ravers go there for the energy, for the people.
It's like a big family.
We like to dance.
Yeah.
It's the music that stimulates it.
And then to like take over the dance floor with your friends.
It kicks into your system.
Definitely dancing. Battle everybody.
You just jump up when you start dancing.
It's in the world I've become, contained in the hum between voice and drum. It's in change, the poetic justice of cause and effect, respect, love, compassion. This is my church. This is where I heal my hurts. For tonight, God is a teacher.
Techno to me is like an outlet. It's something I can do where I can, if I'm stressed out, if I'm frustrated, if I'm angry, if I'm upset, if I'm happy, I can sit here and make music or go to a friend's studio and make music. I was always drawn to the DJ at a club because that DJ had two hands with two records, and every record he played, the whole club was just jumping and going crazy. And I'm like, wow, I want to be that guy. They don't realize that there's a huge positive side of raves where the DJs are like celebrities and they get paid. The music around you that's what my drug is, the music, you know? I mean, I don't need, when I DJ, that's what makes me go. Like, I love to put on a record and put on another record and just keep doing it and watching people cheer and scream and dance and, you know, do all sorts of crazy stuff.
Right, red on my brow, wrong, graven on my mind. You see, the sin is in me. When will it stop unfolding? When will I ever be face to face with the devil in me? Born with a wicked charm, torn by this driving harm.
Ecstasy has become more popular gradually over the last 10 years I've been in practice.
There's all kinds of vitamins out there, okay? K, G, E being the big popular one. It doesn't matter, dude. Every club has a house dealer. Every club, the owner knows a house dealer. And the house dealer pays the owner to sell drugs at that club.
Once I started doing it, I didn't go to the club sober.
Well, once you own it, you feel like ease up everywhere around you.
It's kind of a feel-good feeling.
My first time on E was great. Everybody's first time on E is great.
The way I felt so confident and so like full of life and full of energy, and I felt like I was the center of attention. And
Just basically put me in a good mood. I danced a lot longer.
It was just a constant bug out. It was great.
And it was just like complete and utter like happiness.
They're going to have side effects that are unpleasant.
I didn't have anything to suck on, so I was sucking on my lip, and I was like, swallowed it, and I was like, holy shit, dude, I just swallowed my lip ring.
I got really nauseous for about 2 hours, but then I couldn't remember anything after that.
Woken up the next morning real broke and wondering where your money went.
if you're really unlucky, you yourself or someone you know is gonna really have a bad outcome from taking a drug like ecstasy.
Fell off the speaker, laid on the floor, started going into convulsions, we had to carry her out of the club and like drowned her pretty much to like make her fish back to life. It was horrible.
I couldn't see where I was going. Like my vision was blurred white. I couldn't hear, I couldn't walk, I couldn't speak.
You don't know what you're getting when you put these things into your body.
Welcome to the show. I'm here to introduce you to the Things to Come crew. The horrorist, Oliver Chesler.
Hello. My name is Oliver, and I'm gonna tell you a story. It's about a young girl. She's only 15 years old, and one night, she and her friends decided they were gonna come to New York City. And they drove over the George Washington Bridge and drove downtown, and she turned around and bumped into a really cute guy. Hey, he said, my roommate's not home, and well, I was wondering if you wanna, you know, come to my place. And she said, yes. And he said, take this pill. And she did. And then she said, what is give me? Ecstasy, he said. And then he fucked her all night. Fucked her all night. It's just one night in New York City. One night in New York City. One night in New York City.
I'm Oliver Chesler, and sometimes late at night I become the horrorist. The horrorist is my music name for when I do techno-electronic music. I wrote One Night in New York City and Mission Ecstasy after I stopped taking it. Only because I wanted to kind of document how cool it was. When I read some press about it, they're like, oh, a song about some kid that went and raped some girl. It's not really about that. It's just a story. It's true on a level where every single kid in the tri-state area has been to the limelight with their friends and gone out and partied, and that happens all the time. And NYU and all these universities are right around the area, so it's packed with young kids on the weekends. And if you want to give ecstasy to somebody, give it to somebody that never took it before. And why not a girl? And then they're your best friend, for the night, and it's a good time. No, it's not rape or anything like that. It's not. I don't think I would never have sex with someone unless they said it was okay. Whether they regret it later, that's their own thing. But that I can't control. But if they say yes, they say yes. So, and everybody knows that this is what goes on there. It's the classic story of this area, and I think it happens other places all over. I think, I hope. You have to write about what you're living, and then you're gonna write good songs. It's not really that. It's not doing anything bad, and you can have a good life. I mean, you're only living once. Be happy, as long as you're not hurting anyone else in a way. People do die from it, but you know what? People die from eating too much bacon, and people die from driving too fast, and people die from being lazy and having depression. Everybody has to know themselves, and that's the thing. That's the thing. Like the drugs, you have to do the drugs, and let the drugs do you. It's painless. It's so easy to do it. Oh, I'm frightened of myself. Self.
I shiver when you feel the cold. Everything you say I hear like a bomb and its fuse. We bring bright light. But I could be a devil to you. I could bite like a tarantula, right through the skin and leave my poison dream deliciously unsuspecting, protecting you from all harm, except perhaps from reasoning.
Once I started doing it, I didn't go to the club sober. I would spend my entire paycheck on E in one weekend. like $180, $200 paycheck, like gone in like 2 days on drugs.
I've seen kids get jumped. I've seen kids get robbed who were selling fake drugs.
And so me, my friend Jessica, Megan, and this girl, Jen, we got the girl that sold us the beat drugs and we took her into the bathroom and they made her empty her pockets. They told her that if they didn't empty her pockets, they were gonna beat the shit out of her.
I had a friend, she was doing it all the time, like nearly every day. So she'd be taking it, and then when she's coming down, she'd be taking speed to get, to kind of get up again.
Like I never could have seen myself jumping someone or mugging someone. And I definitely wouldn't have done that.
And it came to the point where she was like knocked out in her house. She locked all the doors and she left the heater on, and the house nearly burnt down.
You have no control. Like once you take it, you can't come off of it. You just have to like deal with it.
I didn't know what was going on, and like you don't get that feeling. For me, my bones started hurting. You know, like when your bones start hurting and like I had to throw up.
Yeah, I felt so agitated. I had to get away from that place, and I went outside, and that was the scariest moment ever because I was paranoid, and it felt like everyone was like out to get me, and I felt so alone at that point.
I was throwing up everywhere. They were laughing at me because they thought it was like hysterical that I was so sick. I like literally thought that I was gonna die. Like I threw up the entire way home, like threw up for like a day. Like I couldn't go to sleep for like 2 days. Like I just threw my guts up. And it was like the scariest thing like it's ever happened to me because I really, really thought that I was gonna die.
All night I just saw person by person getting taken out by ambulances and being on stretchers.
I've seen kids drop in the middle of nowhere and the lights go on.
They were dead because they either mixed drugs or got too dehydrated or didn't know what they were doing.
No people know that this kid is like dead lying on the floor.
He finally got out of a coma, and he can only it took him a really long time to function normally.
I just took it, and I've never been so sick in my life. Like I seriously thought that I was gonna die. Like I wanted to call my parents and tell them that like I love them and I was sorry. Like it was that scary.
It definitely had its bad side to it.
My sister had tried it once or twice, and it really upset me to find out that she tried it because I guess I never realized talking about it would influence her and make her want to do it. And it kind of upset me that I made my little sister like do it. And like she blamed it on me. Like she said that I made it sound so good for like to do, and that she did it.
In a West End town, a dead end world, the East End boys and West End girls.
I have been sober for 6 years now. I admit that I've done drugs in the past. I mean, everybody that I've known pretty much has tried something. I had other horrible experiences with like acid where I would get really paranoid, and I just don't like feeling like I'm not in control of myself, so that's why I stopped doing drugs. Every year there used to be a big party called Whistle 1, Whistle 2, Whistle 3. And every year it's on the news, there's like 50 people going to the ambulance in the hospital that year because they took too many drugs and they overheated and they passed out and they were on the ground having like seizures, you know? I think they ruined the party, and people do stupid things when they're fucked up. They're gonna end up in the corner of the room, passed out all over each other, disgusting and sweaty, and people are gonna be staring at them. Like when you see that, it makes you want to throw up. Another way that it ruins it is, you know, it just doesn't look good. People are eating pacifiers, they're chewing on things. You know, I don't want to be touched when I come off the DJ booth. I want to go to the bathroom, wash my hands, I'm sweaty, I'm like, I just got done playing for an hour, I'm like a little tired. I'd rather be sober because then I can hear and enjoy everything.
It's the rain that I hear coming, not a stranger, not a ghost, or the quiet of a storm approaching that I fear the most. It's the pain that I hear coming. Darling, when did you fall? When was it over? Darling, when did you fall? When was it over?
I just refuse to do E.
Like you really don't want to like start doing anything because it just spirals out of control.
At first it was cool, then like after a while it got to be real stupid.
I came to college and I just realized that like I had to grow up.
You see other people who are doing it and you're just glad it's not you.
We laugh at those kids. We had to we call them petards.
It's a stereotype that the people who are actually going to the parties are trying to get out of.
That dumb 15-year-old braver kid that ate all that ecstasy at the party.
Kids think they're invincible. They think
that since they're young and they come from a good family that nothing can possibly happen to them.
There's always a risk.
You don't know what you're doing to yourself.
Your IQ is dropping like every time you're near that shit.
Anything that comes out of a lab or is like, you know, chemically made, I don't want to take.
They don't really know the chemicals that are inside it.
I've lost a lot of friends from drugs.
It kills like everything that you're supposed to be all about.
People who are one way and then they get on a drug and they're completely different.
Like they have no idea what's going on. Our whole personality just changes, and that's what ruins the scene.
Me and my friends started doing E, and then we got slowly into other drugs, and my friends kind of got out of control with it.
Whatever's stressing you out is gonna stress you out anyway, even when you're high. You're just gonna be a little bit more stupid and reckless.
I was like, oh, I'll just try E, and then I tried everything. Drugs that I was like, I will never, ever, ever touch, like my entire life I touched, and I just think that's really scary.
Because I know that I don't want to be like a 23-year-old, you know, trying to survive.
Make your own decisions, but at the same time, like make sure you know what you're doing and like realize your choices that you're making.
You know, tell them just not to even start. It's not worth it, because you have a lot to lose. There's really nothing good that can come from doing A.
They think it's this unique world and they think that it's so perfect.
We laugh at those kids, you know what I mean?
I, for one, would like to have an outlet where I can go and listen to music that I like.
I just don't like feeling like I'm not in control of myself.
And I don't know what possessed me to do it.
And how I've loved, and I have served, and I have sinned, but I have learned. It's telling me, go forward, and walk under a brighter sky. Every nerve is glowing like a firefly.